so sorry I'm a little bit late. Literally just had to shove a chippy down my neck. So I was walking the dog. I went out early enough with plenty of time, planned to get some chips on the way back. I've still got hat hair, I apologise. And basically I think the chippy decided to kind of grow the potatoes or something, because oh my god, it took absolutely forever to get my chips. I'm so sorry. Hang on, let me move these out of the way so I can see. Hi Kim, you all right? Yeah, really sorry I'm so late. Like I said, I've just been shoving some chips down my neck, a little bit of chips and gravy, and then I was like, oh my god, hat hair. So I just like had to try and kind of do something. Kim, look, full fringe. That was inspired by you. I saw yours and I was like, oh, I miss having a full fringe. I used to have a full fringe and it made me miss it when I saw yours. So anyway, we shall crack on. If you've got any questions while I'm doing this, then obviously feel free to oh bless you. I know the timing's not great, but like I wanted to do it before like the bedtime routine, not later than that because it's too late and stuff like that. So that's why I chose 7 p.m. But I know it's a bit difficult like for mum, so maybe I will move that later. Thanks, Kim. We shall get stuck straight into the live. So first and foremost, I've got for you Pinterest strategy. Do not pay for any Pinterest courses. Please do not pay for them. Like there is just no need to pay for a Pinterest course. Like I'm sure there's some great ones out there and stuff, but please God, don't pay money for this. So I've got a couple of tips with Pinterest. Number one is group boards. What you've got to bear in mind, first of all, sorry, before I get into that, what you've got to bear in mind is that Pinterest is a long-term strategy. So by that, what I mean is, if you post something on Instagram or Facebook, it's pretty instant. People will go and click on it there and then. You can see the traffic going there and then. So for today, for example, I've been very active in Facebook groups today. It's been part of today's strategy, and I've seen a big spike in my traffic. It's very instant. You don't necessarily get that with Pinterest. It takes a little bit of time for that momentum to grow. So you have to give your Pinterest strategy time. The key thing is getting it in place early, because then it builds up over time. So if you wait until you're like, oh my god, I'm really desperate for some traffic, I've not tried Pinterest, I'll bring it in now, you're not going to see any quick results from it. So get it in your business as early as possible. So like now, basically, if you've not doing a Pinterest strategy, do it now, like start tonight. So number one thing that I want you to do is to go and join group boards, as many as physically possible. Now, this is the other pain, is that these take a bloody long time to get on. People take ages and ages to respond for some reason to the group board, you know, when you apply for them. So to go and find group boards, you're going to be thinking about your niche. So for example, I would go and search something like female entrepreneur. Kim, you would go and search something like wellness, health, something along those lines maybe. You would go and search something for your niche. If you've got a handmade business, you'd be searching like handmade, or if it was babies and children's, that kind of thing. So you're going to go and find boards. So easiest way to do that is to go onto your desktop. Don't do it on your phone. It's really difficult to do from your phone. Do it on a desktop. It makes your life 10 times easier. So do it on your desktop. Go, there's a search bar at the top. You would put in like health or wellness or female entrepreneurs or whatever it is. Whatever your niche is, go and pop it in there. It'll bring up a shed load of search results. To the right-hand side of the that search thing, you can filter the results. Filter it by boards. And then it will bring them all up in squares. Nice neat squares. On top of those squares, you will see in the corner of the square a little circle like this. If the circle is just one person's picture, it's an individual board, not for you. If that picture is chopped up into 3, so it'll have a line down it and then one line across, and it'll have 3 different people's pictures on it, it's a group board. So you can, at a glance, look at all the boards and see straight away off that little circle, if it's got multiple pictures in it, you know, oh, sorry, I'm very uncomfortable. You know that it's therefore a group board. So then you will click into it. There will be a little bit about the board at the top, and generally at the top of there, it will tell you how to join. So it will say things like, comment in the pin below, send me a message, or on some now, Pinterest have brought it in, it's got a little button at the top that says follow board, godsend. So you're going to use one of those. there is a rumor that Pinterest do not like it when you comment on pins. Apparently people were getting blocked or barred or kicked off Pinterest and stuff, and I wouldn't want to risk it with Pinterest being my top Facebook strategy. Traffic strategy. So I've never commented on pins and risked that. I send them an instant message. Instant messaging through Pinterest is not the easiest thing to do. So basically you'll see a little icon in the top where you can message people. I think it's a pencil. I'm not sure, I can't remember, an inbox or something, but one of the icons in the top right is like messaging people. So you click on that and then you have to type in the person's username. If you're struggling for the person's username, if you look at the URL, so the link at the top of the page, it'll say like https www.pinterest.com/, then whatever word comes there, that's the person's username. So if you're really confused about the username to put into the inbox to message, just have a quick check in the URL in the menu, and that's where you can pull it from as well. Some of them will ask you to email them. So what I tend to do is have an email ready to go, like to say, here's my Pinterest, to add me. And then I'll use the BCC so they can't see that I've messaged like a load of them. And then I'll put maybe like 10 in there so that I'm sending like it to a load of them all at the same time, to not send like 10 zillion emails, just to make my life a little bit quicker. I try to apply to at least 5 group boards weekly. I have been doing that since, with a bit of a blip, probably had 3 months where I didn't do it. So let's say I've been doing it for 6 months. I'm now on, I think, about 52, 53 group boards, something like that. So that tells you how, like, obviously I've been doing it a lot longer than 10 weeks, but I've not got that many. So a lot don't respond. They might look at your board and decide how many followers and things like that you've got. So it does depend. But that's the best way to get yourself onto the group boards. That's the easiest way. Another good way to build up your followers so you're a more attractive proposal is you can get a free trial. I've only ever done the free trials. I've not like paid or anything, but you can get a free trial from a company called Pinterest. I think it's just like www.pinterest.com or .co.uk. Just search Pinterest, all one word, Pinterest. I'll put it in the comments actually. You know how I'm spelling it. It's literally just Pinterest, and you used to get a free trial on there, and what they did was got you loads of followers, and I found them really, really good. So you can use them to get yourself some followers, which makes you then more attractive looking to the group boards. I will briefly explain group boards because we've got so much to go through and I don't want to keep you on forever on this session. Group boards, so if you imagine on Instagram, you've got one person and they've got, let's say, 1,000 followers for easy numbers. And then we take another 10 people like that. So between them, they have 10,000 followers. Then you form a group with them so that when any one of those people post, it goes out to all of the followers. So rather than it just going to your 1,000 followers, it goes to all 10,000. That's the joy of group boards. So you're taking advantage of everybody else's audience that's in that group. The bigger the group, therefore, the better, because you've got more people seeing your pins. That's how I've got it to my top traffic. Then how do we manage that? 50 group boards, getting your pins up to that every day, Jesus Christ, that would be like a mammoth task. So I love, adore, abuse Tailwind. God, I love Tailwind. All I do, or my assistant now does, is upload my pins to Tailwind. We tend to do like 1 block amount a week, and they then last like, I think I pin about 150 pins a day. So like 3 group boards go to 3 pins go to each group board, so that then makes 150 odd pins a day with 3 pins going out to each. So that's kind of how I do it. So can you even imagine pinning 150 times a day? Well, with Tailwind, all you have to do is to like upload your pins and the links and things, and you just do them once and it pushes them out to all the group boards. What I'm going to do is do it as a unit in my Facebook group to explain this in more depth. So if you're like feeling a little bit like not quite sure about it all, I'm going to put it step by step in there to make life a little bit easier for you. So it will be there. So that's Tailwind, and that's how I then push them out. Making pins, Canva. just use Canva. Like, it's a godsend. Just use Canva. That's the easiest thing in the world. What I tend to do to make my life easier as well is when I write a blog post, I automatically create a pin. I say automatically, you know what I mean? Like, if I write my blog post out, then I go to Canva, I make my blog image, and then also make a pin, and I stick the pin in the post. Excuse me. So that I've got that pin ready to go for that blog post. So I find that helps me with Pinterest. And that's it with Pinterest strategy. All you need to do is get on as many group boards as physically possible, and then pin to them as much as physically possible. And I recommend using Tailwind, which I'll put a link of in the comments. I am an affiliate link, but I couldn't survive without Tailwind. So, you know, yeah, I'm an affiliate, but I only affiliate things that I actually use. That's how I've come across them. I don't kind of go looking for programs or anything. So that's Pinterest. Yeah, you can do things with your own boards and keywords and things like that. It's all like a drop in the ocean compared to group boards and mass producing pins that are going through Tailwind. It's as simple as that. That's how to get some decent traffic. I don't know anybody it's not worked for. It's just the best strategy ever for Pinterest. So next question was, get more readers through your blogs, which essentially is the age-old how to get more traffic to my website question. Now, there are some standard ways of doing this. So you've got SEO, which is your keywords. So for example, for me, I might have keywords built into my blog and website and things like that, like female entrepreneur, marketing, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing. However, my niche is a tricky niche to get to #1 in Googling. I would pretty much, on the main things like Facebook and stuff, never rank. It's not going to happen. So don't really stress about SEO on my website. If you've got more of a niche, so for example, I've got a handmade business that only serves the UK, really, we don't ship outside of the UK, that I've got potential to get on page #1 by doing SEO and to talk about handmade babies and children's clothing and stuff like that in the UK. That I stand a chance for, so I will try and rank on that. But if yours is a really large niche, then SEO is a difficult game to kind of do on the big things. You might get some smaller things and ranking for you, maybe smaller, more niche things like your courses and things like that potentially, but not big things like Facebook and Instagram. Like, I just don't even bother. But SEO, if you're on WordPress, use the Yoast plugin. That's a good way to start. In with SEO, you've got things like building links with other people. So that could be guest blogging, getting people to feature your link. You can pay for that, etc. So getting your links all over the internet. So that's kind of like one way of doing it. 2, Pinterest. Pinterest is my top source of traffic. Like, I love Pinterest. So none of I just got a question, it dingled at me. Love Canva, yes, I know, me too, obsessed. So yes, Pinterest is a really good way to get yourself some website traffic. Like I say, my top source of traffic. Another way to do it is to be really active on Facebook. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, about when should you run Facebook ads and things like that. And they had an interesting comment, and they said in their experience, up until a certain level, like so many sort of email subscribers or followers and things, just be very active in Facebook groups. Facebook groups are amazing for engagement if you treat them right. And again, I've got a few nifty tricks on this, which is probably too much to go into in this video. But what I will do is, again, I will create one of the units in my Facebook group for it. So you can go through that training in there and access all of that in there to make life easier. But Facebook groups are an excellent way to get quick traffic to the website and get yourself known. The only thing is, you kind of got to be in them all the time, and it's really time consuming, but it is good. I've created a bit of a spreadsheet that, you know, like some people are like, Mondays you can do blog posts, Tuesdays you can promote this and blah, blah, blah. So I've got a spreadsheet that tells me, like, on Mondays, this is where I can put on my blog post, this is where I can put on my promotional post, that kind of thing. So something like that might be useful if you create something like that. Another way to get readers through your blog is obviously guest posting, as I've mentioned, not just for the fact of SEO, but the fact that you're sharing the audience with people. Sorry, you're using their audience to show you, put your stuff in front of. You could talk about it on your social media, obviously have links and stuff on there. If you've got to 10K on Instagram, then you can put it in your stories and add a link. If you're not at 10K, then make friends with somebody else, get some connections, or even pay the kind of feeds that share blog posts and things. So that might be a way of doing it. Other ways to get traffic, let me think. So we've talked about putting it across social media. Twitter's quite a good one because, again, time consuming to put the tweets up, but it's really, each tweet only tends to have a life of about 20 minutes. So you can tweet often about things like push, like all the time. So that can be quite good if you've got like a good scheduler or something and pushing it up that way. So yeah, use all the social media channels. Do consider your SEO, but don't stress about it if you're in a very, very saturated niche. Google and Facebook ads are another way if you've got some budget. Obviously you could boost posts, or, you know, if you can't rank on Google, then you could use ads to get yourself up to the top. But again, that's costing money, which is Pinterest, I always think about separate to social media, so that's the other way. I think those are the main ways that I tend to do it. The other way of doing it as well, which we did try in the group, but it wasn't massively successful. I actually stopped the challenge because it was very, very time consuming, and that's not what I'm about. It was like too time consuming just to get traffic. But one of the strategies it did say was, if you go onto sites like Quora, like the question and answer sites, and you look at your niche and you answer questions, you can point them in the direction of your blog. The other way to do it is to put comments on other people's blog posts and put them in point them in the direction of your blog and things like that. Got to be careful, obviously, because you don't want to just be putting your links all over somebody else's. But if you put a really helpful comment and your name links back to your website, then the chances are they might click on your name to go and find you. But very time-consuming strategy, which is kind of why I stopped doing that one. But that should, I think that to get some instant hits and to get some traffic through, my probably #1 place is Facebook. Get yourself in as many Facebook groups as possible, like blogging groups or for your niche and things. And then, you know, just drop posts in there. Like, you can either just put your URL of the blog post in, or you can say, you know, I've written this, I hope it's of use to you, go check it out, kind of thing, you know, in your own words, but something along those lines. So that's how you would get more readers through over to your blog or your website. Next question, how to make Instagram more exciting? So I'm presuming that you mean the Instagram feed more exciting rather than like you being excited about Instagram. Oh, that's good, Kim. So Kim, sorry, just to backtrack. Kim says that she sets a 25-minute timer for mingling in groups. Yeah, that's probably quite a good idea. I just set a Monday today. Like, this is why I look like this, because I was like, oh my God, my brain was frazzled from being in Facebook groups all day. So I'm pretty knackered today. So then I took the dog out for a walk and got a chippy, and then I'm here with you. So I'm just about non-frazzled from getting some fresh air out with the dog. But yeah, in terms of making Instagram more exciting, like I say, I presume you mean your feed and not just for yourself. Because if you're not excited about it, then maybe don't use that social media platform. Maybe try Twitter or Facebook if you feel more comfortable on those. Because if you're not comfortable on it, then that will kind of come across. So, but if you are comfortable on it and you do enjoy Instagram, and it's just a case of making it more fun, it's kind of a big answer really in terms of how to make it exciting, because you've got to be thinking about your pictures and you know, and your feed. And Kim's just put a comment on about saying about making her Instagram feed pretty, and that's very much the case. If you're a business, I think you need to be really, really considerate of how it looks. So there's a couple of things you can do with that. #1, you could pick a color scheme that matches your branding and things like that. #2, you could do something like a puzzle feed, which is like a continuous Instagram flow. So if you go and have a look at my Instagram feed, I'm still under at she_hustles_inc at the moment. If you go and have a look over at that, you'll see my new puzzle feed coming out. I'm going to put my next post on soon, so it'll start to become more obvious. You can do a puzzle feed. I could put this as a unit if it was of interest to people into my Facebook group. You can do it on Canva by making a huge big template that's going to get split up into the 9, and then you put it through an app on your phone and it chops it up into the 9 pictures, and then you post those in order. And the key is to making each one like an individual picture in its own right, so it's not just some like weird picture in between. So that's your puzzle feeds. Kim, I know your colour focus, like you bring your branding colours in and things like that. Use great apps like Canva and WordSwap. Is it WordSwap? For I think it's WordSwap, and you can do really good text on pictures and things with that. It's really good. So that's one way of doing it. So you can make it professional in that way and cohesive. I like to pick a theme as well. So for example, I really like my flowers and my plants. That's all part of my branding. So make sure that that goes into your branding, and you know, pick exciting things like that that really represent you and your brand. So that can help. So that's your pictures. Maybe consider filters and doing interesting things there. You can use the Instagram word swag. That's it, not word swap, word swag. Well done, Kim. You can use filters and things. You could do a black and white, and then like every other post like a color. You could do all sorts. If you actually Google like Instagram inspiration and things like that, then you'll see loads of pretty feeds and you won't know what to do with yourself when you see all of those. Like I say, I love the puzzle feeds, which is like, where if you were to go on your feed and look at it as a whole rather than just one picture, it all flows as one big picture. It looks so, oh my god, they're amazing. If you go into Instagram and like search #puzzle feed, you'll see some and they're amazing. So that's in terms of pictures and things. Don't be afraid of using stock photography either. If you've not got many pictures of yourself and you want it to look professional, just whack a bit of stock photography in there. As long as the caption and everything's considered and it's not just throwaway, then it's fine. Like, don't stress about it. That's your pictures. Your captions. I do have a 28-day Instagram planner. I've put the link in the description of this. If you go and click on there, it's free to download. So that might help you with making sort of interesting captions and things to help you. But basically, your content's got a really, really important job. Your content is the salesperson for your business. It's going to do all the talking for your business. So you really need to think about that in your posts. So you're going to have like a certain tone for your business that you're going to want to come across. You're going to want to give value to people, you know, motivate them. There is the 3 E's of content, which I totally nicked from Amy Porterfield, and I believe she nicked it from Tony Robbins. So, you know, we're all nicking. But she says that your content should do one of 3 things. It should empower, it should entertain, or it should educate. So if you kind of go off those 3 principles, then that might help you to create the really interesting content for your Instagram. So really think about not talking so much about you, like you can come into it, but you want to be thinking about your ideal customer. What do they want? What do they need? And then you're going to create content that, you know, is really either going to educate, empower, or entertain them in some way. That's probably the best way I can think about it. If you run a Instagram challenge, they're always good for a little bit of engagement and stuff. So that's where you would say things, you know, like a 15-day wellness challenge. Kim, you could do something like that doesn't involve your products. So you could do something like where, I don't know, like a mindfulness challenge or something like that, like something that promotes good health. But that isn't directly, you know, they have to buy your products to do it. The idea is that we want to give people value so that they think, my God, this person's free value is so good. What's their paid content like? That's kind of where you want to be at. I hope that helps. If it's not quite hit the nail on the head, please, please, please do let me know. I know the person who dropped that question said they might not be able to watch live. So if you're not here live watching that, either email me at hannah@hannahlouiseonline.com, drop a comment under here, DM me, get me in the group. Like, let me know if that's not answered the question, because you know, I'd like to help you with that. And like I said, I'll think about doing it as a unit as well in the group. I've got loads of ideas for those units. I can't wait to get started on them. Number 4 was Facebook engagement. Oh my God, Facebook engagement. What a drama that is. It's crap. Facebook is hard work, which is why I love Instagram. Instagram's so bloody instant and easy and just happens. It's just like, all right, there's changes to the algorithm and they keep us on our toes and stuff. But God, it's nothing like Facebook. Facebook's like, we're going to make it as hard as physically possible for you as a business to grow. Like, that's their kind of way of working, which is like really not helpful. Oh, Kavita, hello. Like, oh, I'm just seeing it. I'm so glad that helped. Good. If there is anything where I can help you on with that, though, do just drop it there and I'll make sure I answer it at the end. Yes, Kim, lead magnets, that's a whole other thing. In fact, I could bring that in for you for the Facebook engagement. So Facebook, what I say about Facebook is it's totally possible to build business pages and things like that. Now, that's talking about numbers following you rather than just the engagement. It does take time with Facebook. It's not easy. You do have to just produce really good content. So to know what content to produce, the best thing to do is to go and look at one of your rivals, somebody who's very similar to you. You know, like say, for example, at the minute you've got 200 followers. If you were to go and look at someone who's got, say, I don't know, 500,000, their content is probably going to be different to what yours is, just because of the level of where they're at. Go and find someone. So if you've got 200 followers and let's say you're a life coach, go and find somebody with about 5,000 followers that's a life coach, similar style to you. So similar sort of, you know, tone, like, you know, if you're very, you know, all flowers and things like that, but then the other person's like got a bit of a rock starry type, you know, brand going on, then they're not probably the brand for you. You need to find somebody that's got the flowers and stuff like you. So you want a similar competitor. With kind of a, you know, a similar, like what your next target might be for followers. And you're going to go and stalk their page. Now, if they're only getting 1 or 2 likes, they're no good. If they're getting some decent like comments and likes and things like say 30, great. Have a look at what content that is. You know, is it a quote? Is it a video? Is it a live? Is it a picture? What's in the picture? What they're doing? Go and really look at that content and see what's going on with it. And then basically copy it on your page. Try and get it out there. Try and share it to groups and things like that. Groups are what Facebook used to be. Groups are great for engagement. And the key thing is that with a lot of groups, the admins don't tend to mind you sharing stuff that is not out and out there trying to promote your business. So they don't mind sharing things like blog posts or Facebook posts and things like that, a lot of them. So again, get yourself into a load of groups for your niche. And then you can share like blog posts and your Facebook posts and things in there, which will drive traffic over. So that will help you do it for free. So really it's consistently, and I'm talking 2 to 3 times a day, you need to be posting on Facebook, consistently producing good content for your page, being active in groups for your niche, and then consider having a group for yourself as well, because groups are far easier to get engagement in. But if it's anything to make you feel better, go and have a look at some of the big accounts. Go and have a look at, you know, the ones with, you know, a couple of 100,000, and have a look at the engagement that they're getting. Some of these people have only got like 10 likes on a post. They've got 500,000 followers and 10 likes on a post. Like, that's just depressing. Like, you know, they're not paying to promote every post. They're not going to do that. That's not where they're going to spend the money on Facebook. They're going to do Facebook ads in a totally different way to that, not to build the page numbers or to get engagement on specific posts. So Facebook is quite difficult to get engagement, but if I was to give one tip, it's to get in as many groups as physically possible for your niche and use those and find the good groups. That's probably the best way to do it. There are a few things as well with Facebook engagement. Madison actually did a really great live ages and ages ago now, way before Christmas, about this. And she was saying there's certain tips and techniques you can do as well. For example, being active on Facebook before you post. It's very similar for Instagram. If you're active on Instagram around the same time that you post, you tend to get a little bit more. So watch some stories, read some posts, few comments, few likes, like do a little bit. I'm sure she said 15 minutes before. Whether you've got 15 minutes before you post or not, I don't know. If you've only got 3 minutes, then do 3 minutes, you know, whatever you can manage is going to help, isn't it? And try doing that. But yeah, Facebook groups and go and stalking your competitors is probably the best thing that you can do for your engagement. Last but very, very not least, we've got hashtags, the good old hashtags. So hashtags we can use on all 3 platforms. We can use them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. given Twitter's smaller character allowance, we don't tend to get the 30 out. So you tend to only end up putting a handful on Twitter. And with Facebook, people don't tend to kind of go to town, but I would certainly put a couple of hashtags on because it will bring you up in search results. So definitely chuck a couple in there. So our main place for hashtags is Instagram. What I would say is, while I'm here actually, is that YouTube keywords are very similar. So you could apply this to YouTube keywords as well. So Instagram hashtags. The biggest mistake people make with Instagram hashtags is that they talk about themselves rather than the customer. So for example, I have a handmade business. On that feed, if I was to post and I put hashtag handmade business owner, yeah, sure, that's what I am. That's right. That's not a lie. However, if you imagine yourself going onto Instagram and you were looking to shop for handmade baby clothes, what would you search? Would you search handmade business owner? No, you would search handmade business clothes. Handmade babies clothes. You would search handmade babies clothes. Or handmade, you know, children's clothing or something along those lines. But you certainly wouldn't search handmade business owner. And this is what I see a lot of people doing. They're a virtual assistant. They put hashtag, you know, virtual assistant. Might get away with it on that one because, to be fair, the service is what the name is. So maybe you'd get away with it on that. It's like me maybe putting hashtag Hannah Louise online. People aren't going to go on searching for business help and put that in. You'd have to be searching for me directly. So the first thing to do is to get into the mindset of the people who you want to find you. And the best way to do that is to go and be that person. Strip everything out of your head, go onto Instagram, and whatever your niche is, pretend you are a customer looking for that service or product. So for example, Kim, yours would be like maybe health products, something like that. If you were looking to shop that on Instagram, think about it. What would you search? Like maybe health products. If you were like looking for my niche, you might put in hashtag help. You might do marketing tips. You might do business tips. It might even be business coach advice, like something like that. So think about what people, your customers, would search. So go and physically do it. You go and physically do that. See what hashtags come up. So as you're putting them in, obviously it gives you suggestions. If you've got one, like let's say like health products, and you put that in and you search it, and a load of you know, images come up and captions, and it's not hitting the mark. It's like, hang on a minute, this isn't my product or service that I'm actually selling. Then that hashtag's not right, even though you thought it might be right. If you know that you wouldn't fit in with the results, then it's still not right. So you need to search a little bit more. So you can keep doing that until you find the right hashtags. What I tend to find is that I'll put one in and I get the results that I'm like, yeah, that's a good hashtag for me. That's right. And then, you know, you get the top 9 results. They're the ones that have got a lot of engagement on. So I'll go and look at one of those, and I'll go and look at the hashtags they have then used, because I know that I'm on the right lines here. And I'll go and click on some of those hashtags. And what you tend to find is that a whole bunch of those hashtags would be good for you as well. And it gives you new hashtag ideas. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to go and look at your competitor. Again, you're going to go and have a look at a competitor that's in your ballpark. So if right now you've got 200 followers, I would go and look at somebody who's got about 5,000, something like that. If you've got 5,000, go and look at 10,000. Maybe do it in like batches of 5,000 like that, 5,000 above, and leave it at that. If you go and look at people with huge accounts, they tend to not even use hashtags anymore. So you probably won't find anything. It'll be a waste of your time and you'll get lost in some sort of Instagram hole. But if you go and look at, you know, your direct competitors or near competitors, again, very similar business branding styles. Like, say, for example, you're a very like heart-focused entrepreneur, and then you go for somebody who's like very, non-heart focused, I don't know, like money focused. They're the wrong competitor to look at. They're coming at the niche from a different angle, so that wouldn't work for you. So make sure it's a similar competitor. Go and have a look at their posts that are engaging the most, and then you can have a look at their hashtag. Yes, that's right, Kim. So like natural products, wellness, well-being, that's the same on Pinterest as well, by the way, for searching for group boards if you do that. Anything along those lines, like literally just like give yourself like maybe put your timer on for half an hour, 25 minutes, and do that. Like literally pretend you're the customer and fall into that Instagram hole. Like you've got to come at it from the other side, and then you start to realize that where the hashtags you've been using only attracting your peers, people who are similar in the industry, rather than actual customers who are looking for things. The other thing as well, Kim, that you could search, so people are looking for the health products as an answer to a problem. So say, for example, that could be skin problems, headaches. So what's the initial problem? They could well, I mean, it's not on, you know, I know you might go on Google a little bit more, but they could well go on Instagram and look like, you know, natural cure for headaches. Like go and pop that in and see what comes up, like that kind of thing, and see what comes up from that. That's what I would do, and have an explore. Like nothing might come up, but just keep playing around and kind of searching on there until you find something that works for your niche. And then, like I say, test the hashtags. Don't just go, oh, that sounds like a good one from a competitor, or I think that that's a good one. Go and look at it, because then when you search it and you see a load of results come up, then you'll know whether it's yours. I'll tell you a little story. So worst case scenario, I don't even remember what the hashtag was now, but there's a hashtag and I thought that's a good hashtag to use. So I went and did the search on it, like what I'm saying to do, and pulled it up. Oh God, what was it? It was something to do with coaching or something. I can't remember. Karen, I don't think you'll be watching now, but she's had the same problem. I know she has. But basically, a lot of like near on nudes came up, and I was like, nope, not the hashtag for me. That's not the group I want to fall into. I don't want to be like, I'm not the nude marketing person. That's not quite where I'm aiming here. So really good idea to go and check out your hashtags, especially if you put it in stuff about skin and health stuff, Kim. Like you may well end up in a hole you do not want to be in there. So definitely check them. But yeah, definitely things like perfect. I reckon if you went, I don't have my phone, otherwise like I do it here and now. I've left my phone downstairs. But if you search hashtag combination skin or hashtag dry skin, hashtag oily skin, I bet you'd come up with some really good results. So I would definitely do that. And I know, God, you don't want to come up in the nudie pictures, so just be very careful. I'm sure it was a coaching one though, so do be mindful of it and check out your hashtags before you use them. So that's hashtags. Does that help? Did that kind of help with the old hashtags? Oh, I'll tell you one other thing I can tell you about hashtags right now. So a week or two ago, I was telling everybody to put 4 hashtags in the main caption and the other 26 in the comments. Scrub that. Instagram's algorithm changed again last week. Thank you, Instagram, so kind. So basically what I'm telling people now is, rather than to go off specific advice, you know, put X number of hashtags here, do it yourself. Is what I'm telling people. Just do it yourself. What I want you to do is go and look at your analytics. So you can look at individual post analytics. So what I would say to do is always measure apples with apples. So, for example, 24 hours after you post, or always do 7 days after you post, or 2 days after you post. Always do the same time after you've posted, and then go and look at the analytics. So have a see how many people have reached you. Say for example, you're going to test your hashtags. So you could post one day, and what you might want to do is, it's hard because we believe that using the same hashtags over and over again affects the algorithm. So it's difficult to use the same ones to gauge where the positioning is going to make a difference. That's the tricky thing. But what you could do is, as an experiment, is to do day 1, all 30 in the caption. Day 2, all 30 in the comments. Day 3, 4 in the, like, let's say 4 in the caption, the other 26 in the comments. Day 4, only use 15 of the 30. Day 5, put 15 in the caption, 15 in the comment, that kind of thing. And then you would go and look at your how many times you were found from your hashtags. So you can do that underneath the picture on a business account. This is underneath the picture, it says insights. If you go and click on the insights, it tells you there. Or if you go into your account insights, then there's a bit where it shows you all the posts, and then at the top of there you can select what you want it to show you. So I think it automatically shows you likes, but you can do it by like clicks on your profile, by hashtags. You can do it by all sorts. That's really good, because then you can see what posts are helping you perform. So say, for example, you definitely want clicks on your website. Go and do it by clicks on the website and see which posts have got you the most clicks on your website, and then replicate that. So that's another way to oh, no worries, Kim, I'll see you later. If you might have already gone by now. That's another way to check the hashtags, how they're working. So what I say to people now is, don't just go off what everybody's saying, put them in your comments, put them in your captions, etc. And I know I've been guilty of telling you to do that. I was just trying to be helpful. But actually what's more helpful is for me to teach you the analytics that I use to decide how to do that. So all I'll do is run that experiment. So like I said, make sure you compare apples with apples. Make sure that you're looking at posts, say 24 hours after you've posted. Because say if you go, right, I'm going to do it at the end of the week, I'm going to check my analytics. Post 1 done 5 days ago has had 5 days to gather traction. Post 2 has had 4 days. Post 3, 3 days. 2 days, 1 day. So this last post, you can't possibly compare it with post number 1, because that's got 4 days worth of traction over that one. So you can't compare. So you need to like do an analytics experiment, say over a week, which is where obviously, like I say, you'll go in and you'll check the analytics 24 hours, let's say, or 2 days, just the same parameter afterwards, and see which one of those has worked the best for you, and then do that. So if it's all worked, then being in the comment, do that. Just keep them in the comment, and keep doing that until you get no engagement again. You'll notice it, because like, you know that you get a standard, like I know my quotes get a standard number of likes. I know my other images tend to get X number of likes. When all of a sudden, like the other day, I'm used to getting 150 likes on a post, you know, within 24 hours of posting it, and I had like 34. I was like, this isn't even being shown to people in the home feed, let alone in the hashtag search. And I went and looked, and it was like big fat zeros. I was like, Jesus, you know, I've either been shadow banned or the algorithms changed here or something. So then I had to go back to the scratch and start working on, you know, what's working again. So yeah, and that's how I do it. I just go through my analytics, do a bit of an experiment, and see what's working. So hopefully that helped, like, you understand where I find the hashtags from. If you pick up a couple of good hashtags, I really like Lee tags, L-E-E, let me put it in there, L-E-E-T-A-G-S, Lee tags, the app. They've got a little paid version now, but you don't, to be honest, I paid for it and you really don't need it. Just keep the cheap free version. It makes no difference. I wish I knew. It was only like 99p or something, so I'm not that bothered, but there's no point in paying for it. Have the free version. And on that, so say for example, like female entrepreneur is a great one. Then you go and whack that into Lee tags, hit search, and it'll give you a load of them. And they tend to be really good quality from there. They tend to be the high trending ones, and there tends to be ones from, like, say, Thailand or the Philippines and stuff like that. So you might want to edit out some of the ones that aren't right, but it usually gives you extras so that you can pick those as well. So that's my favorite hashtag app, but I tend to do the back work myself and make sure that the hashtag is right first before I rely on that to give me the other hashtags. Hope that helps. I feel like I've just talked at 150 miles an hour at you. I'm so sorry. I know I should slow down, but I'm like, we're 42 minutes in and I'm just spewing this information at you. So sorry. My fringe is all flat from my hat because I had my hat on and it was so cold out walking the dog. So sorry about that. It's all in my eyes. I feel like one of those sheepdogs and I can't see you at all. So I am going to go and finish off my chips now. I really hope that helped. I've not got any more questions being dropped below or comments or anything, so I think we're kind of done for today. And I will be back with you again next Monday to answer any of your questions or to give you some training or whatever is needed. So I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful week, hitting your Pinterest and making your Instagram feeds beautiful and finding your hashtags. If this has been valuable to you, which I really hope it has, I've put a link in the description. I've got lots of freebies in there. I've got my 6 proven strategies where I kind of go into much more depth than what I've done today, which that will, it's a free download. So you can go onto that and download it, and hopefully that will help you. It's like this, but a lot more information and nice printouts and stuff that you can fill in. There's also a little social media quiz on there. So if you're wondering where is the best place for me to promote my business, go and take that quiz. It will tell you. And there's also a link to an article from that tells you how to do it as well. So that might help. And there's also a free 28-day Instagram planner that might help you to create content and just keep you on track and give you some ideas and new sort of fresh inspiration for your Instagram feed. So like I say, I hope that was super useful. Thank you, Kavita. I will do. Go on. I've got chips and gravy waiting for me. I can't wait. Trish, you've just joined and I'm going now. I'm going to get my chips. I'm going to go and warm them up in the microwave and go and have my chips. But I'm back next Monday at 7 o'clock doing one of my lives. So yes, I will see you all then. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye now.